everyone is having a fantastic day today. As 2025 comes to a close, 2026 is on the horizon. One thing that 2025 has taught me, one thing, is everything is either a realization, is a protection, or it's a redirection. And not everything is a loss. And it also told me and taught me that it will always return. Love will return. People will return. Relationships will return. Anything. It's not going to be those exact people, but the feeling that you get from whatever it was that left your life, it will come back. And like I said, not everything is a loss. We're so conditioned to think that, to label endings as failure or rejection, or you're going to lose something, you're depleting, it's a deficit. But and yet I feel like some endings are just, they're a learning lesson. It's a lesson, it's information, it's knowledge, it's wisdom. It's not a punishment. And also learning that losing access doesn't mean, or things leave your life, or a deficit doesn't mean that you're losing value. And one thing that I have learned is that realization, things that come when clarity finally hits. Realization, you start becoming aware of things without a specific emotion attached. You start seeing situations, you start seeing people, you start seeing patterns, behaviors for what they really are, instead of making excuses for them. Instead of looking at the potential, you're starting to finally look at the reality of things. And your eyes will be opened. And when your eyes are open and you pray for that clarity, that realization, your vision's no longer figuratively foggy. You're finally looking around and seeing the truth. You're finally looking around and seeing reality. And growth, once you get that realization, growth comes often with disappointment as the first potential feeling. You start realizing what needs to be in your life, what doesn't need to be. You start realizing what you mean, what you mean to people, what you don't mean to people. You start realizing even your inner importance, how you view yourself, how you value yourself, your respect for yourself. Like I said, you stop making excuses for potential, and you start looking at the reality. Stop making excuses for things. You stop romanticizing situations. And like I said, looking at that potential, you stop betraying yourself to keep the peace, to make other people happy, to have this curated, perfected image, when and yet, like I always say, there is no perfect human walking around here on this earth. And you will never be perfect 100%. And another thing I also realized this year is protection. He will always protect you, and he will always remove things from your life that are going to hinder you and hurt you and going to keep you from what he has planned for you. Some things leave because they were draining and they weren't serving. They didn't have a long-term purpose. Protection doesn't always feel gentle. What may have hurt you now could have harmed you later on, done some deeper damage. And I have learned that removing things, people, situations, things from my life, really, it's letting me know when they are removed, not only am I removing them, but just the cosign that I have from God, the cosign of him telling me that I need to get this out of my life. It's just opened up my eyes to teach me that everything is, like I said, a learning lesson. And I've made a video about this before, that removal prayer. You can pray for everything. Pray for a car, pray for a job, pray for clothes, shoes, bags. I'm not saying you won't get it, but sometimes that prayers can go unanswered. But you pray for something to be removed from your life. You pray for clarity. You pray for not only things to be removed from your life, but tell me how people really feel. Tell me, he hears your names in conversations that you're not even around to hear. Reveal that to me. Reveal to me intentions of people. Reveal to me, do I need these people long term in my life or not? Reveal to me their intentions, how they feel. Will this be a good decision? And I kid you not, as soon as you say amen, things will just start clicking and it will start happening. You start getting that clarity, like, wait a minute, or hold on, something ain't right. That's what happened to me. As soon as I said amen, I was like, wow, this is just revealing to me something that maybe I was too making excuses for, that I was too blind to see. And that prayer will reveal to you what needs to be in your life and what doesn't. That prayer is absolutely real. And it just let me know that everything was removed for a reason, because it's protecting you from something. And honestly, I am glad that everything is removed from my life that didn't have a purpose and wasn't supposed to be there long term, because that just pushed me further into building the foundation that I needed to have for myself, and that the person who he wanted me to be, my purpose and what I've been called to do. And also, when you realize that when certain things are removed from your life and you start putting boundaries, you start putting distance, you start, realizing something's off, something in your gut, you feel it in your gut, your intuition, your discernment's telling you something. It's just, I'm just very happy that he opened up my eyes to things. And just, like I said, I had to realize, am I willing to remove people, friends, family, things from my life in order to become who I need to be? Because if I let it stay in my life, it's going to cause me harm. Because this is how I feel like it was revealed to me. It was an A or B. A, you keep this in your life because it's comfortable, because it's familiar, and it will harm you, and it will hurt you. It will leave a bad taste in your mouth if you do not get this out your life, is what he said. Or B side, you get it out your life right now, because I'm telling you, through this prayer, you're getting all this clarity. Get it out your life right now. Remove yourself so that it can lay the foundation of who, and I had the time to build you so that you can become who I want you to be. It's A or B. It's still going to hurt either way, but one is going to be more detrimental to you than the other side. And I was like, you know what? I have to be willing to remove things from my life if they do not serve a purpose. And I was okay with the B. I was okay with removing things from my life that didn't serve a purpose, because I wanted to become who he wanted me to be, well, that's a whole nother conversation. But if I ignore the signs, it's going to be headed down around a bad path, a bad journey, and so I have to remove it. And when you start getting blessings, when you start having favor in God's eyes, it's going to require removal. You're going to have to let people go in order to be used by him and discover your purpose, in order for you to build that foundation. And honestly, it's a protection. And I have to continue to see it as that. And I mean, this year really opened my eyes up to some things. But also another thing that I learned is redirection. Sometimes that no, you needed to hear that no. Sometimes you didn't fail, you were just rerouted. Redirection will save you from settling. Closed doors will prevent you from walking into the wrong rooms, the wrong buildings, the wrong venues. And what feels like a setback is often alignment. Because if you stayed there because you were comfortable or because it was familiar, you would have settled. And redirection forces you to start moving and have the motion, where comfort will continue to keep you stuck. And I feel like it was such an important lesson for me this year. Something that I learned, I used to do when I was younger, is I used to say I can't all the time, or I'm unable. But I had to stop putting them self-imposed barriers on myself because, everything's just a redirection. Sometimes it may be no, or I can't, or I'm unable. Okay, what can I learn from that? It's not that it's just you're delayed, you're not denied. It's just a redirection. What is this rejection? What if the rejection is your redirection? You need to pivot your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. What is this trying to teach me? What can I learn from this? Good people overall, people who are strong, powerful, evolving, always focus on growth, becoming the best person of themselves they can possibly be, are focused on this. And you need to change your thinking from why did this happen to me to what is this trying to teach me? And like I said, redirection, what was it? Redirection, protection, realization, things leave your life. Love, people, relationships, anything. Just because it leaves your life doesn't mean that it won't come back as a healthier relationship, as a passion that you may forgot about, peace within yourself, a better environment, better opportunities. And not everything is meant to go not everything is meant to come with you. Some things are seasonal, they're not permanent. You have to release that resentment that you're feeling because it's blocking you from what's next, your potential blessings. And you can't continue to hold access, or you can't access new levels of yourself while you're still holding on to those old versions, those old habits, that old self-talk, old attachments, old survival skills or versions of yourself. It's going to require growth. Is going to require you to shed. Going to require you to let go of habits, beliefs, people, because who you were in that chapter isn't who you are becoming. And you are not going to have all the answers, but yet do you have the faith to continue without fully understanding? Do you trust your purpose enough and who you're being called to be, to have the courage to lose sight of the shore, to broaden your horizons by sailing away from the shore and losing sight of what is familiar and what is comfortable? And because it all serves a purpose. And sometimes things aren't taken from you. They are taken away for you. Whether it's redirection, whether it's protection, whether it's realization. And everything that you lost will always return. It was always returned, but maybe it will return in an upgraded way, in a new way. It'll be a new person. It'll be a new hobby. It'll be a new environment. It'll be a new opportunity, but it'll come back. But yet do you trust, like I said, to lose sight of the shore, to lose the quote-unquote, the comfort and the familiarity in order to lead and to be led to where you need to be, where your purpose is taking you. But yeah, something that I wanted to say. Hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys next time.